one of the most popular shows on television. We're led to believe that it's an honest and forthright example of investigative journalism. But several days ago, I received a letter that made me doubt the integrity of this program. Oh, I receive a lot of crank mail, and I usually just toss it in the wastebasket. But this letter had an unmistakable air of authenticity and intelligence about it, and it made some very challenging accusations. Mike Wallace is a stinker. This letter raises several important issues. First, why is it called 60 Minutes when it's really only 58 minutes and 20 seconds? And why did 60 Minutes, initially a low-rated news program, suddenly burst into the top 10? Did they buy off the Nielsen rating service? Were certain cash payments made to executives of that company? And what about Morley Safer? A Canadian. That's right. A Canadian. Why is a Canadian doing a job that an American could do just as well? And if we were to go to war with Canada, whose side would he fight on? The Americans or them? Here's what happened earlier at the CBS building when we tried to get some answers to these questions. I'm Steve Martin. I'd like to get an interview with Mike Wallace.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Wallace is in Washington.
Then your answer is no?
Oh, well, he's in Washington, like I said.
You've heard it for yourself. Mike Wallace has refused to talk to me. Inslated. Mike Wallace has luncheon here just about every day, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What does he usually have?
Well, it varies. Tuna salad, corned beef hash, ham and cheese.
Then you'd say he has a regular American's lunch, a patriot's lunch.
Yeah.
Where do you get your tuna fish?
Out of a can.
A can like this? Packed in Japan? And isn't it true your cheese is Swiss and your corned beef comes from Argentina?
Yeah.
So, every day, Mike Wallace comes in here and has an exotic foreign lunch.
No, sometimes we deliver it.
By courier?
Yeah.
Let me sum this up. Every day, Mike Wallace has a secret courier deliver an exotic foreign lunch. I am standing with Mr. Ernest Lubwitz, who is a close personal friend of a guy who knows someone who met Mike Wallace's brother. Is that true, Mr. Lubwitz?
Well, actually, I met the wife of a close personal friend of someone who met Mike Wallace's brother.
Well, I think that pretty much makes you an authority on Mike Wallace. Now, Mr. Lubwitz, is it true that Mike Wallace had liquor on his breath on New Year's Eve of 1969?
Well, like I say, I only know a friend of a guy who...
Were you with this friend on that particular New Year's Eve?
I can't remember that far back.
Well, you'd say that the odds were 50-50 that you were.
The odds wouldn't be that high, actually.
Well, you were either with him or you weren't, right?
Huh?
Well, that, my friend, is 50-50. Now, did your friend mention anything about Mike Wallace having liquor on his breath?
Definitely not.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Proof that someone may or may not be trying to conceal the fact that Mike Wallace may or may not have had liquor on his breath on New Year's Eve of 1969. And that comes from a guy who met the wife of a close personal friend who knows someone who met Mike Wallace's brother. I think that polishes off 60 Minutes. Be sure to join me on my next special when I ask the question, Tom Snyder, is he real or is he wax?